for the young children there, and then the parents decided that they wanted to start racing as well. So then we've adapted it now to include an adults race as well.
You've been organising it for?
I've been organising it for just over a year now. I took over for a guy by the name of Hugo Jones, who initially established Triballistic, and who's since moved to Australia, and who is actually looking at possibly coming back to Phuket. So then we'll probably try and make it a joint venture once he comes back.
Right. Now you have a series of races. This is it the third one?
This is race 3 of 4, and so we've got one more October the 11th, which is here, which is going to have another race added to the day as well, which will be an adults Olympic distance race, which is a 1.5 kilometre swim, 40 kilometre bike, and a 10 kilometre run.
Right. So it's expanding then a bit.
Yeah, we're trying to attract some more clientele from further afield, and that seniors are more willing to travel for a bigger race rather than the short race. So we've got people already interested from out of Thailand, plus people from Bangkok as well for the October race.
Right. But is the priority still the younger children?
The priority is still the younger children, to make it more of a day for them. Unfortunately, today fell on the same day as a Sapan Hin swim competition there. We organised this, and then they announced their swim day afterwards. So a lot of the children are swimmers as well. So some had commitments to their swim team. So unfortunately, we lost a lot of children to that.
But tell us about the Splash and Dash first. That's the youngest one. What ages are they?
The Splash and Dash is under 8 years old, and we've had I think our youngest competitor today was 6, and 8 years being the oldest. Again, we just do very short distances for this. We also do it to try and encourage, and that for first-time racers, and that to encourage them to get interested in the sport.
And they were doing it in the swimming pool today. Obviously, the weather wasn't good enough or safe enough.
The weather closed in on us a bit yesterday. We had great weather all week, and then unfortunately it changed just prior to the race. And it's not so bad, the sea, for the seniors and the adults. However, the Splash and Dash is only swim out 25 metres, and the waves are crashing within the first 30 metres. So they'd have been washed back up onto the beach. So I'd rather go for safe than for any danger to the children.
And then they did a short bike ride?
Yeah, short bike ride, 1.5 kilometre bike ride.
Through the hotel?
Through the hotel, then out onto a small country road to the left of the hotel, and then back in exactly the same way, and then a 750 metre run.
Along the beach road, yeah. It's not very serious. I mean, it doesn't really matter who wins, or
it's taking part. However, I mean, the competition amongst the youngsters is actually pretty fierce, and it's quite good to see them. They'll compete right until the finish line.
And then you have a junior stage. How old are they?
Yeah, junior stage is from 8 years upwards. The youngest being 14, the oldest being 14, the youngest being 8 years old. Again, the distances are slightly longer. They do a 200 metre swim, a 6 kilometre bike, and also a 1.5 kilometre run.
Right. And then the seniors, how old are they?
The seniors, our oldest senior today should have been 62, however he hasn't shown up. So I think the oldest today is 49 years old. And then our youngest in there is actually under 16. He's a 14-year-old boy. And who's actually very good. I coach him for cycling, and I guarantee he'll be coming in ahead of a lot of the adults today.
So there's no sort of minimum for that?
The minimum is probably about 14 years old, because it's a big step up from a junior race to the senior race. The distance is a 750 metre swim, a 20 kilometre bicycle, and a 5 kilometre run for this race. And plus it goes out onto the main roads, and we like to try and keep the children not off the main roads and away from the traffic.
Presumably some of these older guys, they've been in the marathon last week, and they'll be training.
We've got 4 or 5 of the guys ran the half marathon last week, and 2 of them did the full marathon. One of them actually won his age group, and he's still feeling a bit sick, a bit stiff today. So he's using this as a warm up for next week, because he's actually going and doing a full Olympic distance triathlon in Bali next week. So he's a bit of a sucker for punishment, this guy.
Okay. But also, I suppose it is good training for the triathlon at the end of the year.
Yeah. Again, that we're using the October race as a build-up for the big Laguna race that we have in Phuket at the end of every year, which is a big international competition with about 500 contestants.
Do you wish perhaps they had a sort of younger category as well? Yeah,
we're trying, and we've been trying for the last year to talk with Laguna to try and encourage them to have a kids race over the weekend, because we've got a lot of young teenagers, such as the 14, 15-year-olds, who can't race in Laguna until they're 18. They've still got another 4 or 5 years wait. So we're trying to encourage them to have a junior race so that they can get a feeling for the atmosphere of the big international event.
And you take part yourselves? I mean, as a triathlete?
I do. I take part myself. I race up to half Ironman distance, and I've done a couple of Ironman races, of which are too extreme for me from now on. And I tend to just race for fun now. But I do try and race in between these races.
Right. And you have a website for more information?
Yeah, the website is www.triballisticclub.com. That's with 2 L's in ballistic.
Right. And your next race is back here again, as you say?
Next race is back in October, Indigo Pearl again, and we've got a Friday night pasta party, carbo loading dinner, Then on the Saturday morning we've got an adult sprint and Olympic distance race which will run consecutive at the same time. And then it'll be one loop for the sprint race, 2 loops of everything for the Olympic distance race. And then in the afternoon on the Saturday we'll have the kids races. And then the Saturday evening we'll have an awards party and end of series party as well, also staged at the hotel here.
And then next year you'll start all over again.
Next year we'll start all over again and start another 4 races for the series. And again we're looking at some new venues next year. We're looking to host back at the Marriott again, and that where we did the year before last.
Macau,
yeah, at Macau around the lake there. So looking to stage at least 1 race there. Possibly back out to Borsan Villas in Phang Nga again, and also hopefully Indigo Pearl again, as they've been very, very good to us this year.
Right. Okay, great. Thanks, Shaun, and I'll let you get back to organising the last of these races.
Okay, thanks very much. Thank you.